we've got lives and I've got children, and the effort that we put in, because we work really hard.
For decades, one question has haunted fans around the world. Did Ringo Starr truly hate Paul McCartney? Behind the smiles, the laughter, and the legendary music, there were cracks, silent tensions, fiery arguments, and one moment that almost destroyed their brotherhood forever. They were icons to the world, but behind closed doors, even the Beatles weren't immune to jealousy, betrayal, and pain. Was Ringo's easygoing charm just a mask? Was Paul's perfectionism the real reason for their rift? Today, we uncover the truth behind the friendship that shaped music history, and the fight that almost tore it apart. Long before the fame, before the screaming fans and flashing lights, there was a frail boy in Liverpool, England, named Richard Starkey. Born on July 7, 1940, he was a child who knew more hospital walls than playgrounds. He suffered from peritonitis and tuberculosis, spending months isolated in wards that smelled of medicine and silence. But in those lonely hours, something remarkable happened. He found rhythm, the tapping of nurses' footsteps, the steady pulse of his own heartbeat. It became music. Armed with nothing but determination and imagination, he turned illness into inspiration. As he grew older, the beat never left him. He picked up drumsticks and joined small bands around Liverpool. First came the Eddie Clayton Skiffle Group, then Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, one of the city's most popular acts. The young drummer with the steady timing and easy grin began making a name for himself. No formal training, no wealthy background, just raw rhythm, charisma, and an instinct for music. By the late 1950s, Ringo had become one of Liverpool's most dependable drummers. Then came August 1962, the moment that changed his life forever. Pete Best was out and Ringo Starr was in. Overnight, he went from local gigs to the heart of the Beatles. The decision angered fans at first, but within the band, the chemistry was instant. His drumming grounded their melodies, his humor lightened their sessions, and his presence completed their sound. While the world celebrated John Lennon and Paul McCartney as songwriting geniuses, Ringo quietly became the heartbeat beneath every anthem. He wasn't a flashy drummer, but his steady, precise style shaped classics like Love Me Do, She Loves You, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. Beyond his playing, he became a symbol of warmth, relatable, funny, the everyman Beatle. He sang lead on timeless tracks like Yellow Submarine, With a Little Help from My Friends, and Act Naturally. His voice carried charm, humor, and humility. And on screen, in films like A Hard Day's Night and Help, Ringo's natural comedic timing made him a fan favorite. But even legends can't outrun time. By 1970, the dream had shattered. The Beatles were over, and Ringo Starr stood at a crossroads. Without the world's biggest band, would he fade or find his own voice? He chose to fight. In 1970, he released his debut solo album, Sentimental Journey, proving that he was more than a drummer. Then came hits like It Don't Come Easy, Photograph, and You're 16. The songs were catchy, honest, and undeniably Ringo. He acted in films such as The Magic Christian and Caveman, showing his playful side. For a while, it seemed like the fun Beatle had found his rhythm again. But the 1980s brought darker days. Tastes changed, his music slipped from the charts, and behind the scenes, alcohol began to take over. The man who once lifted others' spirits was now fighting to save his own. By the mid-1980s, Ringo's life spiraled into addiction and self-doubt. Yet, even in his lowest moments, fate handed him a lifeline. On the set of Caveman, he met actress Barbara Bach. Their connection was instant, and their love became his anchor. In 1988, they both entered rehab together, a decision that saved his life. When he emerged, Ringo wasn't just sober, he was transformed. He became an advocate for recovery and wellness, proving that fame doesn't make you invincible. He returned to the stage with new energy, forming the All-Star Band in 1989, a rotating supergroup that brought together music icons from across generations. Instead of competing, he shared the spotlight, celebrating the joy of music with humility and laughter. The fans returned, not out of nostalgia, but admiration. Ringo Starr wasn't just a Beatle anymore, he was an institution. While Ringo rebuilt his life, Paul McCartney was crafting his own empire. Born June 18, 1942, in Liverpool, Paul was a prodigy of melody. His father played jazz piano, his mother encouraged him to dream, and by his teens, he could play both guitar and piano with ease. In 1957, he met John Lennon at a church festival, a meeting that would rewrite the history of music. Lennon, impressed by Paul's talent, invited him to join his skiffle group, the Quarrymen. From there, the path led straight to destiny. As the Beatles evolved, Paul's ambition grew. He became the band's perfectionist, writing songs that would outlive generations. Yesterday, Hey Jude, Let It Be, and Eleanor Rigby. His melodic genius and tireless drive pushed the band to new creative heights. Albums like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and Abbey Road bore his unmistakable touch. But that same control and precision also sowed seeds of tension. As John grew distant, George Harrison demanded respect, and Ringo sought peace. Paul became the unrelenting taskmaster, trying to hold the chaos together. By 1970, the breaking point came. Paul filed a lawsuit to dissolve the Beatles' partnership, citing mismanagement by Alan Klein. To the world, it looked like betrayal. Overnight, he became the man who broke up the Beatles. In truth, Paul was trying to protect what they had built, but the move left scars that lasted decades. Even his bandmates saw him as defiant and difficult, and though they later realized he had been right about Klein, the emotional damage was irreversible. In the midst of that turmoil came a confrontation that would haunt both men for years. Ringo visited Paul, hoping to ease tensions, but Paul, exhausted and bitter, exploded. According to Ringo, Paul pointed his finger in his face and shouted, "I'll finish you now! You'll pay!" The peacekeeper had been pushed too far. For the first time, Ringo saw the darker side of his old friend, the perfectionist who couldn't let go. That encounter marked a painful chapter in their friendship, one that would linger quietly beneath the surface, even as the world celebrated their music. In the years that followed, both men found separate paths to survival. Paul formed Wings with his wife Linda McCartney and guitarist Denny Laine, giving the world timeless hits like Band on the Run and Live and Let Die. He conquered the 1970s, proving that his genius was not trapped in the past. Ringo, meanwhile, took his all-star band around the world, spreading joy and nostalgia in equal measure. But fame doesn't protect against heartbreak. In 1998, Paul lost his beloved wife Linda to cancer, a devastating blow that shattered his world. Ringo, having conquered addiction, became a symbol of resilience, a man who had faced his demons and survived. Both had learned the same truth. Success means nothing without peace. By the 2000s, time had softened their edges. They appeared together at events, sharing stages, smiles, and memories. The bitterness had faded into mutual respect. Ringo was knighted in 2018, officially becoming Sir Richard Starkey, an honor that crowned his remarkable journey from sickly child to global icon. Paul had already become Sir Paul McCartney in 1997, long recognized as one of the greatest songwriters in history. Two knights of the same kingdom, bound forever by rhythm and melody. Paul has often said that without Ringo, the Beatles would have fallen apart far sooner. Their bond was tested by fame, by addiction, by death, and by time itself. Yet, somehow, it endured. Today, when they appear together, their smiles are real. Not the forced smiles of the 1960s, but the knowing ones of men who've lived, fought, and forgiven. They are living reminders that even legends carry scars, and that friendship, like music, has its own rhythm. From hospital beds to recording studios, from lawsuits to knighthoods, Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney have walked paths few could imagine. They shaped a generation, changed the sound of the world, and reminded us all that greatness often comes with pain. They didn't just play music, they became its heartbeat. So, the next time you hear a Beatles song, listen closely. Beneath every harmony lies Ringo's steady rhythm, and within every melody, Paul's perfection. Together, They created something eternal. They fought, they forgave, and they played on. Because legends don't fade, they echo forever. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Every click keeps the music and their legacy alive. Thanks for watching.